the Can Am Ryker Rally 900. It's pretty enjoyable. It's a good amount of power just for cruising, and you have a ton of power, so you never have to worry about not having enough. I mean, I'm sure you'll get used to it and then want something. You may want to buy a Spider because it's got a bigger engine. That's just how we operate as humans. We always want something bigger and better. But I really like the nimbleness of the 900 over the Spider. It's just a personal preference. Some people like the bigger size, but it's just I find a lot more fun to ride something smaller with a bigger engine versus a big ride with a big engine. Now, how fast is it? It's faster than most things on the road here, so I'm just gonna stop and enter this highway rather aggressively. Very easy to skid the back tire. I don't know what the 0 to 60 time is, but it's going to be pretty quick. You will be faster than most things on the road, but probably not as fast as some of the sport bikes or one of the newer Corvettes or Porsches. Definitely enough power to get you in a lot of trouble. Now, I teach people how to ride motorcycles mostly. I've taught thousands of people how to ride, and I've taught hundreds of people how to ride Can-Ams. And my learn to ride accident rate for Can-Ams is higher than motorcycles. What's great about these Can-Am Rykers is how easy they are to ride, and they're easy to learn as well. But the thing is, they don't fall over like a motorcycle does. So when things go wrong on a Can-Am, they can go horrifically wrong. And that's where people get in trouble. So if you are going to take this on and just figure it out yourself, it's entirely possible, but that learning curve might be very steep and expensive and a hazard to your health. So if you're going to take it on yourself, make sure to ride my safety video on how to prevent crashes and damage. But I highly recommend you go take the Can-Am safety course, because it's going to force you to do some practices and some exercise to get that muscle memory for repetition on things on how to keep you safe. Now, your desire will always justify your wants or what's needed for you to be safe. So just be aware of that. Your desire, not always your best friend in making the right decision. But a few hours in a parking lot doing safety things, you have everything to benefit from it. Here is the 2022 Can-Am Ryker Rally Edition with some updates. Now, they've largely left the Ryker alone for updates, so this model actually got a few, but still not a whole lot. First up though is what is going on with these wheels. Can-Am calls these the bottle cap wheels, and there is a reason for them. Since you can go off-road with this Can-Am, they want you to have a strong rim. So this design here is very strong. So if you're gonna hit rocks and hard things as you roll over them, it's not gonna bend the rim. Whereas on the regular here, this 5-star pattern is much easier to bend. So that's why the wheels look this way. And of course, Can-Am went a little interesting with this design, but I think you will grow to like it the longer you own it. It's very unique. And when you ride one of these things, you are very unique. So it definitely fits the Ryker Can-Am Rally profile. So other updates they've added is the seat. Now this is pretty important because this is where you're going to be sitting a lot, and this is better than the last seat they put on it. So I highly recommend this one. You also sit up higher on it. So if you're taller, this is good. It is also much more comfortable to ride for longer periods of time. And part of that reason is the lip of it is very low. That is good. When you have a seat that has a higher lip on it like this, that is not good. It feels good at first, but not over long distances. So yeah, the seat update there, very good.
Another update is the cruise control. So you got your cruise control button there, you press it once to turn it on, then once you're above 40k an hour or higher, you hold it for longer than a second and it will engage. However, it is not available to you if you're in Australia or Russia. So for all you Australians out there, no, you cannot eat your Vegemite toast while you ride your Can Am. You must have your hands on the bars. And yeah, no cruise control in Russia, because in Russia, Can Am rides you. Okay, sorry about that. Went off a little bit of a tangent. Back to the updates here. You get different foot pegs. And what's interesting about these foot pegs is you can have them come in and be closer to the Can Am. So that's kind of interesting. They're still adjustable. You still move them here or back here. You can adjust the brake pedal, but I would not recommend adjusting it too far down. It's not recommended, because when I see people use it, they push their foot down and they may not hit the brake pedal. So having it up higher, always better. They also put a LED light bar on the front. So there it is. It looks good. I'll turn it on in a moment, but the headlights are still your basic yellow halogen bulb. So you got this super white LED bar and these yellow headlights. That should match. I mean, these things should be coming with LED headlights now. Come on, Can Am, get with the times. It's 2022. Finally, they put some protection on the front, because that radiator is very delicate back there. So it's nice to see they have protection. However, this piece here is all plastic. This is metal, so that's good, but I've never seen a plastic crash bar before, but you know what? It's better than nothing. Storage is still the same. This panel here to store your stuff, and it's still got the USB port back there, which is nice. Still not very secure, considering anyone can access it, so having a lock on there would be nice. The parking brake does come with a lock, so nobody can disengage it and then roll away with your Can Am. And the fuel cap up here, it can be locked as well, so no one can steal your fuel. And with the cost of fuel these days, that is a good idea. The fuel tank is still 20 liters, or just over 5 gallons. Riders are reporting about 7 liters per 100 kilometers ridden, or that is about 30 to 35 miles per gallon. So it's not the greatest on gas, but it's certainly better than a lot. But you're not buying this for good gas mileage, you're buying this to have fun. You've got the bush bars, so when you're just going through those trails and bushes are hitting these bars, you're protected. Although I don't know if you'd be doing that, because these wheels would be getting awfully beaten up if you're going through that bushy of a trail. But definitely, it's part of the look and may come in handy if you get that errant bush. You still get the old dash. So hello 2005. This needs an update here, because you just get that orange screen, which is adequate. But when you're paying this much for something, it should come with a larger, more easier to read screen. Color preferred. I mean, there's entry-level motorcycles that come with a full color screen that's larger than this. So for something that costs a third of the Can Am Rally, there's better options. So come on, Can Am, let's update those for next year. I know the Spider model gets that. Now, I love a good suspension on a motorcycle, and definitely a Can Am. It's got 3 wheels, so it's very interesting suspension dynamics. So right now it's on setting number 4, and you can adjust that here, on the other side, and then back here in the rear. So when you're adjusting it, keep it all the same. I mean, you've got 4 different options. So right now we're down in number 2, and that would be number 1. So if you want number 4, there we go. That means it's in the stiffest suspension setting. So if you like a stiff ride, go for number 4 and insert your "that's what she said" jokes right now. Got more of those coming up. In addition to adjusting those, you have your shocks here, which can be adjusted here. If you can see that number 1 and all the threads that can be adjusted down. So you can make those stiffer, and it also changes the ride height. But I'd recommend you keep the ride height as high as possible because the clearance being still pretty low down there. But the best way to actually adjust your suspension for this is just to change those numbers. Put it on 4, go for a ride, come back. Put it on 3, go for a ride, come back. Put it on 2, go for a ride, come back. Put it on 1, go for a ride, come back. Now it doesn't have to be a long ride, just something with a bit of bumps and a higher speed corner, and you will know what kind of ride you like. But the more weight you put on the Can Am, the stiffer you should make the suspension. Now down below it has an Akrapovic exhaust, so this is pretty cool. It looks good. On the website it says it's an Akrapovic silencer, so yeah, it's not very loud, which is weird because Akrapovic or Akrapovic typically just makes loud exhaust, so I didn't know they were capable of making a quiet exhaust. So looks good, it's got carbon fiber on it, but yeah, it doesn't have a very loud or unique sound to it. So think of this exhaust more for the visual aspect. Now last with the suspension is you've got your rear spring here, which can be adjusted there. So you know what, go see a suspension specialist because you can adjust it here, you can adjust the spring here, and on the other side with your adjustments. That's a lot going on. So having a professional suspension, guy or girl, check it out, definitely worthwhile. So it still has the shaft drive, so that's zero maintenance, just twist the throttle and go. What makes the rear tire go is in there, so it's all encased. You don't have to worry about anything there. So that's still the same, still the 900cc 85 horsepower engine, plenty of power for what you need. So that's excellent. So why mess with a good engine? And it's still a Can Am, it's still a Canadian company, so it's nice to be able to ride something that was created in Canada. Sure, it's manufactured somewhere else, I believe Mexico. I think the Ryker Rally is great. I mean, the wheels take getting used to, but you will. It's a fun ride. The 900 engine is super smooth. It's super fun to ride around, gets a ton of looks, more looks than a Lamborghini or a Ferrari would. So you can kind of enjoy that. Or if you don't like the attention, do not buy a Ryker. Too much attention. So tell me what you think about it. Tell me what I missed in the video or what you like about it. It's always fun to ride and review these things, and there's more and more people getting into it. So you can't go wrong buying this. Yeah, it might be a bit expensive, but the big smile it's going to give you and much enjoyment to just get out there and you know, make your life more of an adventure. Totally worth it. So if you like the video, like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Still trying to get my account up to those 10,000 subscribers, so thank you if you subscribe.